Välkommen till slöjd I Bäckaskolan I Sverige. Welcome to Industrial Arts at Bäckaskolan in Sweden. As one enters the classroom, one is welcomed by birch display cabinets with large glass windows through which one can see exemplars of projects as well as work in progress of current students. It is an invitation to guests and future students, an inspiration of what is possible. Moving through into the next part of the classroom, one can see an area dedicated to smaller stationary equipment. This is the part of the classroom where students can work on machining different aspects of their work, be it in wood, metal, even a bit of forging and blacksmithing. If one moves along further, a large open space with ample workbenches arranged throughout the room. Large windows overlook the forest down the hill and let in loads of natural light, which make the space a joy to work in. Let's look closer at some of the features of the space. Above the workbenches, there are suction hoses that allow students to work with portable power tools assisted by dust extraction to ensure a clean, safe work environment. Sanders, lathes, and drills all have integrated dust collection as well. They are wired up to engage the dust collection blast gates as soon as the machine is turned on. Let's take a closer look at these workbenches. 16 in total, a number representing the maximum amount of students per class. These are Sjöberg workbenches, which are manufactured in Sweden. The benches are a thick, sturdy benchtop mounted on height-adjustable legs to accommodate students of different heights. A bench stock system paired with a vise at the end of the bench allows for use of specialized jigs to hold one's work in place. Furthermore, the placement of these benches allows for versatile instruction locations where the teacher can demonstrate the next step of the project at any one of these benches. Let's listen in on one of these lessons.
Jag vet ju det att det kommer bli kö nu, för när ni sågat. Såga går rätt fort, men sen kommer det bli kö när ni ska slipa. Och du märker...
As you can see, the teacher is able to give a lesson that is instructional, but at the same time feels collaborative, as it is being delivered at one of the students' workstations, and thus in a place that is congenial to the students. You may wonder what the project the students are working on is. With the Swedish curriculum requiring that culture and heritage play a predominant role in students' learning, this is one of many traditional projects that students will build. Let's listen in on the end of the lesson.
Det var inte så svårt, va? Ett litet så här tips om man inte vill kladda på sin svep. Om man inte vill hålla på och rita massa här, så har ni kanske mallen kvar från den ni gjorde själva ängslutet. Skissa och kladda på den lite. Sen när ni har fått hur ni vill ha det så kan man ju mäta på noga. Och skulle ni inte ha den kvar utan rita direkt på här, ta och rita tunt då så att ni kan sudda bort eller putsa bort det lätt. Frågor? Kör vi!
For this project, students use thin strips of elm or birch, which they steam soak, allowing them to bend around a form. Cutting a customizable overlap seam, which is glued and then reinforced with a leather strap in a sewn pattern of their own design, students end up with a traditional Swedish breadbasket, although these days they are able to customize it to whatever use they desire. With the cultural requirement met, students can move on to more complex projects. This one, in particular, is a favorite of mine. Why? Well, because I built one when I was in Sweden for a short furlough many years ago. We even figured out that Mische was my teacher during this project some 20 years ago. Recycling and stewardship of nature is also an important part of Swedish curriculum, whether it is reusing broken bandsaw blades, to rest projects on while finishing, or using scraps of wood for projects, students gain an appreciation of using only what they need and reusing where possible. Many of these projects contain small parts that can be made from pieces out of the scrap bin. What is truly amazing about these complex projects is that they are built by 7th graders. You might wonder how students are able to achieve this to such perfection. Well, this is probably because they start in woods already in the 3rd grade. Working with hand tools such as hand planes, chisels, drills, and coping saws, students build confidence in their psychomotor skills early on, allowing them to tackle more complicated projects only a few years later. What makes these classes so inviting to young students is the presentation of all the projects they can and will build in the years to come. Prominently and tastefully displayed on the walls, storage cupboards, and even hanging from the ceiling, students can see all the wonderful things they will build. Another neat idea showcased here is a simple sign-up for students. As they are working on their project, a bottleneck may occur at certain stations. Here they can sign up for the next slot at that station and carry on with the next step, confident that they won't lose their place in line. At the same time, this ensures that students are not crowding around doing nothing as they wait their turn. A final observation is related to expectation and grading. Posted in the classroom is a table and description of what is required of students in the class and how that relates to the grade they get. The really neat thing about the grading is that while it is similar to the Canadian A to F letter grading system, in Sweden an F still meaning a failing mark, an E is, however, completely acceptable, meaning the student has met the requirements to move on. D and B are grades that are seldom used, whereas C is above expectation and an A is exceeding expectations. My observation of this grading system is that it removes the stigma and expectation around needing to get high or perfect grades. While a good grade is rewarding, meeting expectations is completely acceptable. What do you think about this grading system? Or about any other aspect of industrial arts in Sweden? Is it very different from what you thought? What do you like? What do you think that they could do differently? Scan the QR code to connect with me over email and share your thoughts or to get further information.